It is a beehive of activity here at Ohio Wood Burner. The challenge is my one employee is lazy and the boss is a jerk. Other than that, everything's going well. I've just been flying since I haven't been flying. I just flew in from Austria and boy are my arms tired. This is, I land and I am back at it. I had planned that trip away, and when you're mostly restaurants, you got your finger on the pulse. You know when they're going to hit, you can predict their consumption. So I just preloaded all of my accounts that were going to be hitting. Worked out great. I got no phone calls from any restaurants in a panic, but I did have a plan in place if that were to happen. And thank you for following along on my trip. It was great. I saw so many cool things, firewood related and historical places of interest. I think my biggest disappointment was there are no kangaroos and koalas in Austria. And while I can speak Australian, when I first got there, everyone looked at me like I was, in the wrong country, which I soon found out that I was. But we spent time in Vienna. We drove to Munich. We hit those professional firewood lots, and gee whiz, the professionalism that they had. I take pride in my yard. I think my yard looks pretty good. It's got its good days, it's got its bad days, but gee whiz, these guys were sanitary. They weren't clean. This one place, I didn't see even like a flake of sawdust on the ground. That's how clean they were. But I am back at it. Let me just show you where I'm at. Of course, I'm just swamped with deliveries, and now the phone's starting to ring with the fall selling season. I have a lot of people calling for firewood, and I am still taking boiler wood back to my house. I had my truck sitting here. I had the Axis sitting right here because I just had a gaggle of offcuts or rounds. When I'm into these piles, if you have a big end, a big knot sticking out of it, I just cut it off and then it goes into boiler wood. So I had the Axis backed into here and got it all split up, put it right into the truck, and now I've pulled my Axis up to here because this is my next spot. Man, I got this big cherry log in. I was so excited. But after the first cut, it's just rotted out. I still think I can harvest some good cherry wood out of there, but this will just be going back to the boiler. I brought my fire pit over. We're going to have a cookout here in a couple days, but I thought I can also maybe start throwing this bark in here and getting it gone. The Axis is just a beast. It runs great. It starts right up. It's powerful. It is fast. But you know what? Let me give a shout out to my tractor. I probably should get this some more screen time than it is getting. This thing is just great. How did I ever go through life without a front end loader, and then with the grapple put on it too? I just ran the Japa. We have a nice load of firewood that I will be taking down to the drying yard for stacking. That'll be later today. I got to get the table loaded up for the next load of logs. But when I left for Europe, the Japa wasn't running. It was blowing fuses to the fuel pump. This has an auxiliary lift pump on it, and along with the mechanical pump. It's back in there somewhere. Well, it was blowing fuses, 10 amperes, so I would put in a new fuse and it would just keep going, and then it kept blowing fuses. So I thought, well, maybe the pre-filter was plugged up. So I changed it and it started running fine, but it wouldn't blow the fuse, but the engine would stall. So I thought, well, maybe it's the spin-on filter. So I put a new fuel filter on it, and it didn't help it at all. And then after diagnosing it, the lift pump was bad, and it was just making weird noises. And I think it just couldn't even, the mechanical pump couldn't even suck the fuel through it with that pump being bad. So I just ordered the part off Amazon, and it's back to being the beast that it is. You know, I saw a lot of cool machines when I was in Europe. The ones that really stick out in my head were the two Palax machines. That circular saw one, which is the C1000. Gosh, I couldn't get that thing off my mind. And I was thinking, you know what? I just love to have that machine. But when I first got back and I ran the 405, I was like, I'm good. This machine is what I need. You know, that was through a traditional knife on that circular saw, and I just know that there would still be resplitting and all, and yeah, you get intoxicated by that speed, but I don't need it. Honestly, I can make a cord. Where are we at here? This took me about under 40 minutes, and it's just perfect firewood. That's good enough for me. I'm not in a hurry. I'm value-added sales, so speed and the time to process is not high on my list. I mean, it's not low on my list, but it's not the most important thing. Quality firewood is. The other machine I couldn't get off my mind was that other Palax. It was the 360. You know, it looked just like my very first processor that I bought, the 365. But that thing would just run circles around the 365. That machine was awesome. I had never seen the Palax machines in production until that trip, and I'm sold. I think they're awesome. And they're supposed to be at the Paul Bunyan show, so I'm going to be excited to see them down there when they're running. Wow, those were really cool. And then of course the X Firewood Factory. I mean, that's on a different level. So, you know, the whole firewood industry is a scalable industry. It's, you know, if you are just cutting it for yourself, just for a campfire, or for your year's heat, or if you're selling as a hobby, you know, being a hobbyist, or if you are just selling it on the side versus someone going into professional delivery like me, all the way. I mean, that thing is just in a complete different universe. But what the heck, it is fun to watch, and I watched it a lot. I had made a comment, and it is true. When you are watching it, and if you're standing there, you cannot take your eyes off of it. It is that cool. Oh, and when I got back from Europe, I have a new friend in the woodyard. There he is. I got a cute little bunny rabbit. Oh, where'd he go? I did some work on Facebook to see if someone's missing a bunny rabbit, but he stays here. I've put some water out for him, but he has enough to eat. And he comes around. I have yet to be able to pet him or her. I've come close, but I think we're still working at it. But if I can get some bunny gloves, maybe I can get him to work stacking for me. One of the benefits of this wood yard, it's easy for the trucks to get in and out of, the log trucks. So when I'm in Europe, I got some text messages, and one of my loggers, he had some logs for me, and you know, he says they're not perfect for the processor. This first load was oak, and I says, yeah, bring it. And then this other stuff back here is all silver maple, and it's pretty crooked. There are some straight ones in there. I just got to trim them up, but there's going to be a lot of chainsawing in this. Looking at this pile, guys, you can see my struggles still remain. I am not getting logs. I haven't got any logs through the summer. I had that whole pile from November into December. If you recall how big it was, I think I had, I believe there were 12 triaxle loads in there. So you're looking at 70-ish, 72 cords of wood. I got all of those gone. This was empty when I left, and then that's when that pile came in, and I got it all stacked down here. And I'm still buying wood, so I have my main supplier up north. I see him regularly, and then I've just met a new guy, and I've been trucking his wood out, and it's just going straight to the customer. That wood's pretty dry. If you recall the super splitter video that I had put out, That was because there was a technical issue with this last video I made of the Firewood factory, and that was a video that I had just kept in my back pocket for moments like this when you have a problem, you can't get the video put out. In this case here, they just launched that new website, Firewood Factory, and I thought I would just wait until that website was active, and they just needed a few extra days for that to happen. So we rolled out that video along with their website, and if you haven't seen that machine, good heavens. Like I'm saying, that thing is just in a complete different universe from anything. If I had that machine here, I would have 0 wood by the end of the day. That is how fast that machine is. Other than working on the Japa and that fuel pump, I have one truck, not this one. This truck has some brakes that require some attention. And my other truck, I am now up to 5 warning lights on the dashboard. It's got something wrong with it. It runs fine, but just about every light that you could possibly imagine is on that truck. And I don't need this right now going into the fall selling season. The trucks are on the road all the time. This is a Monday. I took Monday off from deliveries just so I can get this yard cleaned up. These are the leftovers from the hickory that I'd split, so that's going back to the woodshed. It's ugly stuff. And we're running into a lot of ants too. And all the ants have been getting trucked down into the corner. This is the last of the mudwood. So all of this has gone out to restaurants. So this mudwood will get sent back to my wood yard. And then everything else is ready to go. Cherry. This is pretty good seasoned stuff. And these birds just won't leave me alone. More seasoned stuff. And this is the new stuff that we're stacking right now. Look at all these birds. I am behind where my inventory should be. I am not comfortable with it, and that's why I've been more aggressive buying wood and seeking out other people who can help me out as I get this wood made and stacked. This is going to take a while to dry out. I have been doing this long enough that this wood does dry out in the wintertime. Not as fast as the summer, but it does dry out nonetheless. And my intention was to double up this row with pallets to get it higher up off the ground in case we get some rain. But I think this time of year we're safe. But this stuff will be gone come springtime, and then we'll address that then. This is the last of the wood from the expo, and this is mostly pizza oven wood. It stayed pretty good shape down in here, and when we bring the trailer down, we use the conveyor and get it loaded up. So this should all be gone here in the next, I don't know, within the next month, I think. You always think you have more wood than what you do when it's laying on the ground. I just wanted to show you the yard where we're standing right now going into the fall. I'm still trying to get this cleaned up for my cookout. We have the Paul Bunyan coming up. I will be there definitely on Saturday. On the other days, I am not sure yet, but definitely Saturday. And where will I be? I don't know, probably walking around. And I'm also excited to say that we have a date. The International Firewood Expo is going forward next year. It is going to be on the first weekend in June 5th and 6th, Friday and Saturday. We had to move the dates back. There was a number of things. You know, you got to thread the needle in May. You got Mother's Day weekend, Memorial Day, and then you got the show that I try to leapfrog that's in the New England area, in Vermont or in Maine. And we have our daughter who will be graduating college, and I can't miss that. And the fairground was busy, you know, already rented out on the one weekend that I was looking at. If anything, maybe we'll get some nicer weather. It's deeper into the spring, but it will be at the same location at the Trumbull County Fairgrounds. I will be updating the website for that, and we're going to also have a program this year, you know, complete with glossy color ads for the manufacturers and the exhibitors. I am looking forward to that. I'll be partnering with our good friend Melissa Nagy, who you may or may not see at the Paul Bunyan show. I'm not sure yet, but you know, she does a lot of people's brandings in the firewood industry, a lot. Okay, I'm just admiring all this firewood. It looks great. That's a lot of work. Now I am going to move the trailer down to where we're going to be stacking next. And then I will be taking my other truck and trailer up and getting it loaded up for wood. I don't know where we'll bring that wood, either down here to stack or it's going to go straight to the customer. I got to look at my schedule. All right, everyone. Thank you for following along and hanging out with me while I am traveling the world. That was awesome. I hope I get a chance to do that again. I want to say thank you to TP Silva and our good friend Lowry, who will be at the Paul Bunyan show. He is just a super cool, nice man. He really is. And everyone that I've met at TP Silva, it's the same. There will be 4 people from Finland at the Paul Bunyan show. All right, guys. I hope everyone has a great day.